I'm surprised that my first consultation was relationship advice. Now, I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to say the person he's dealing with. I'm not even going to say a few things about it. I'm just going to try to give. Um, excuse me, guys. The light went out. Hold on. It's in park right now. My bad. Uh, there we go. So it was about his relationship. Now, how can I explain? Alright, he was 19. Him and his girl, dating a couple years, blah, blah, blah. From high school, um, got out. He was doing the right thing, enrolled in college. She's enrolled in college. You know, they're on the right path. Um, he graduated and, you know, he got a decent job in the field that he went for. And her last year in college, they got pregnant. And she finished in a decent field, all right, and got pregnant. She was 21, he was 22. No, at the time, he was 21, she was 20, or whatever, something like that. Because he's 22 now and the kid is 1, so it must be, yeah. So during that pregnancy time, from what he explains, is that they fell apart. They weren't on the same page anymore about what they wanted, their beliefs, their finance, their where they wanted, even something as little as what neighborhood they wanted to live in, became issue. So everything was just an issue. So it grew far apart, and they broke up. While she's like 6, 7 months pregnant. He tried, from what he says. All I have is his story. And like I say, I told him, I said, it's your story, her story, and in the middle there's the truth. I'm not calling you a liar, but everybody has their own interpretation of events that happen. All right. So they grew apart. All right. So after the kid was born, his son, he ended up dating another woman, and this, I guess, he was like her first love or whatever. And I'm talking about his kid's mother, and she ended up skipping town, went to another state. I'm not gonna say what state, but a huge state in the East Coast. She went there, which is some ways away from Massachusetts, and he didn't know where her address. He knew what state, but he didn't know her address. And he's a newly found dad, and he said, hey, what should I do? This just recently happened, like 2 months ago. She, like, during the virus, like right before, like February, she moved. And she gave him a warning. She said, it's a better opportunity up there. And without hesitation, she left. He was never on, he's still not on, like, child support or anything, because he definitely provided, from what he said. His family stepped up. It's his first kid, so there was no wants, no needs for anything during the baby's life so far. And she left. Now, he's asking me, should I go to the courts? But he's saying, in order to file he has to file with New York, and number two, he has to find out her exact address. So he's like, should I file a police report for kidnapping? Blah blah blah. So it's kind of a for my first consultation, man. I've earned my money. Um, I told him what I told him is that you have to. He knows where her parents stay. I said you have to stay like best friends with them until she comes around within a reasonable time. Right now, the courts are not even barely open for criminals, so it's like she's a good mom. I don't think she's gonna try to hurt your son. Um, Sometimes people just take things. What she did was absolutely wrong, but she's just trying to hurt you, and you know that, so you can't fall into that trap of being depressed and being suicidal and stuff like that. Like little stuff he was telling me, I was like, don't don't go down that path because you need to be here for your son. Um, and I told him just pop up like every other week at her, stay in good conversation with her father. Most importantly, her father. But show visible at her house, her parents' house, and drop off little gifts and money orders that you can keep track of, that they should give to your son, and express deeply how much you miss your son and you want to see your son and you want to be in your son's life and you understand that this didn't work out. Write, a couple letters that they can pass on to her, um, and stuff like that. And just stay visible, don't give up. And, you know, as her father, I think after I say 60 days of you doing this, he will understand as being a father and being a man that he will get her back in line. The mother, I don't know, but as the father, I think he will get her back in line and you will start to see your son again. And I told him to check back in with me. And one of the main things I told him was stay calm, stay celibate, and stay consistent. I'll say it again. Stay calm, stay celibate, and stay consistent. And what I mean by that is don't jump off a bridge. Don't take your business to social media and try to find her and leave messages on her friends. Deal directly with her immediate family that you know she's very close with. She's close with her mother and father. That's where you have to. That's where you have to draw the line, and that's where you have to build with. And what I say by stay celibate is you don't want. I'm not saying nobody's kids or accidents or a curse, but you have to know who you're sleeping with. You have to know the plans before. Yes, most people say, yeah, kids are made by accident and heat of the moment. But you have to know that person you're sleeping with. And so many of us guys, we do that over and over. And after a year or two, we understand, yeah, this person's not for me, and then their son or daughter has to be raised just by their mother, and then we're just weakened fathers, which is not good at all. Our kids need both parents in our lives. And it's not fair to keep bringing these kids into this wicked land without two shields protecting them. It's not fair to them, you know? So you have to know who you're sleeping with, what your plans are, who's wearing the pants in the relationship. Is your relationship built off a foundation of God? How is your finances? What are you guys going to do for work? Where do you guys want to live? Where do you see you guys in the next 5 years? All of this, instead of hooting and hollering and going to the club every night with your mate, you guys need to be having these type of conversations. Not Netflix and chilling every night. All right? Not, oh, let's catch a flight to Florida. Let's go to Cancun, and just partying it up and not having real conversations about the future, if you plan on being with that person for the future. All right? So that's what I mean by that. And by staying celibate, your mind, you shouldn't even be thinking about getting your D wet right now. You should be focused on your kid and what you're going to do when you get back into his life. All right? That's your only focus. You should be focused on sliding up in something, and then you so emotional right now, you slide up in something raw again, and then you in the same situation times two. You know what I mean? So, nah, stay celibate. Stay in the gym. Stay in prayer. You know what I mean? That's what I told him. And then what I mean by consistent is bringing all of those into one and staying consistent on top of each one. And that's what I mean. And it was a great, I spoke to him for about an hour and a half. Great brother, and I wish nothing but the best to him. And I'm going to check back in with him. Even if he doesn't call me, I'm going to email him and text him in the next 45 days and see if anything has changed or anything. All right? So that being said, let's get into it.